Hello everyone. So here we are talking about effect of exercise on blood pressure. This is a practical examination of cardiovascular system when we start human experiments. Within blood pressure we have three practical. One is blood pressure examination and two practical effect of posture and effect of exercise. So this is the third practical, which is effect of exercise on blood pressure. So when we see when we see effect of muscular exercise on blood pressure, many things. For example, which type of muscle exercise we are doing, whether it's aerobic, anaerobic, isotonic, and isometric. There is the mainly isotonic and isometric exercises we are talking about, and obviously the severity and degree of whether it's size, whether it's mild, moderate, and heavy and severe. Okay, so the effects vary with it also. So enhanced duration of exercise also. And we have seen one more thing, which is trained athlete or untrained individual. So within trained individual we have seen already bp changes rate and bp changes very less in them. So we'll be talking about how to perform this practical and what are different effects. So procedure, for perform the procedure, first of all, for every practical we have to make the subject comfortable with the procedure and explain the procedure to be followed, right? After that, take baseline recording of heart rate and bp, and you should also take respiratory rate and temperature also. We'll see it later, the effects also. So once you have taken the baseline reading, okay, then you have to do is you have to ask the subject to perform exercises. Now the question is, which type of exercises? So there are three options. These options you can perform. So one is sport running, one place with thigh brought up to horizontal. Alternatively, it can be done around 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, then hopping on each feet. So you have to jump on each feet, 1 feet for 3 minutes, raising the feet 12 to 15 inches off the ground, or climbing up and down stair. Okay, so it can, a step can be used or stairs can be used. For example, jogging. Okay, so any one of these exercises can be done. For example, you can do it for 2 minutes and you can see the change and categorize this. Okay, if it comes under mild category, you can do it for more minutes, like perform it for 5 minutes, and you can see whether it's coming in moderate category or not. Now the question is how to categorize into mild and moderate category. We'll see it here. Now once this exercise is performed, okay, we have taken baseline parameter in sitting position, and again we have to take, after exercise we have to take same parameters in sitting position again, just after exercise, without waiting. Okay, then we have to grade the exercise according to the change in mild, moderate, and we have to categorize it, which type of exercise it is. Okay, so the question is how to categorize it. We will see it later, but how to record the change, you have to make a table like this. So resting heart rate you have to monitor, and bp you have to monitor, systolic and diastolic both the values, right? So these will be our baseline values. After exercise you have to take first reading, immediate values for both the values, and 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, or it can take to 5 to the baseline, same value. So we have to see the change. So resting, for example, my resting heart rate is 70, and after exercise my heart rate is 98. So my heart rate is changed from 70 to 98. So this change we have to notice. Now according to that change, how we have to categorize it. So this is WHO grading of muscle exercise, in which the exercise is categorized into mild, moderate, and heavy and severe according of three parameters: heart rate, we are taking here oxygen consumption, and MET score. Now in practical we'll be doing with heart rate only. We'll see the and we'll heart rate and we'll categorize it, and see the effect of exercise on heart rate and bp. But according to WHO, oxygen consumption and the MET score, they are also used to categorize these. For example, less than 3 MET score is light, 3 to 4.5 we categorize it moderate exercise, and 4 to 7 it's heavy, more than 7 it's severe. So in lab will not be performing heavy and severe exercise because we don't have all the instruments to manage if any complication occur. Now the question is oxygen consumption, why we are talking about. So oxygen consumption, normally our oxygen consumption, that is VO2, is 250 ml per minute for muscles, and if we talk about the maximum, so we have to see this is our normal amount, and in exercise how much change, VO2 max, how much change is there. So from 250, if it goes to 400 to 800, we categorize it. It say that less than 25% change. So we categorize it mild. If it's around 800 to 1600 ml, so here we are talking about liter, right? So this value will categorize it moderate. Here hence the change is 25 to 50% if we see. Okay, so accordingly we categorize it. The RLI is relative load index, which is nothing but oxygen consumption change. Okay, now what is MET then? MET is metabolic equivalence, is the ratio of rate of energy expended during activity divided by during at rest. Okay, so 1 MET is taken, how much we consume energy at rest is 1 MET. If it's 3 times, then we are consuming energy 3 times more than consumed at rest. So that is called mild exercise. Okay, if it's 4.5 times, we categorize it moderate exercise. So that is MET. You should know, because in Viva question this will be asked for sure. If you get some practical effect of exercise on BP, then obviously the grading will be asked that which are other than pulse, which are other parameters which are helping you to categorize the exercise. Okay, fine. Now what are different type of exercise we are talking about? So aerobic, when we use oxygen, for example jogging, cycling, sport running, swimming, skipping rope, right? We use sufficient oxygen to perform the exercise. Anaerobic, when we do heavy exercise and oxygen is unavailable. Okay, but the most important you should know is isotonic and isometric exercise. What is isotonic exercise? So isotonic, iso means same, tone means tension. So tension is same in muscle, but length changes. For example, here this is a muscle in which 3 gram load was there, and here also 3 gram load. So tension remains same. Okay, but length shortens. So length changes. This is called isotonic. On the other hand, isometric exercise, when tension is isometric, means same, metric mean length. Length is same but tension changes. For example, here, so length is same, isometric, but tension from 1 gram we have added it to 2 gram. That's why we are calling this condition as isometric condition. Okay, now what are different changes? How we can see, how we categorize the changes, that according to isotonic and isometric, different type of changes are there when we perform exercise. Why? Because in isotonic, when muscle is shortening and lengthening, so the length is changing, muscle is performing some metabolic activity which is leading to secretion of metabolites within muscle. So it consume oxygen, release CO2, release adenosine as ATP are used. So there are different metabolites used, which, so that's why effect vary. Okay, on the other hand, isometric, when muscle length is same, only tension is changing, so there are metabolites are not secreted, muscle is not active, muscle is not consuming oxygen. So in that sense, less oxygen is consumed, and hence the effect are also differ. So the most important in our body, most of the exercise are isotonic type when length is changing. So in aerobic exercise also, it's kind of group of isotonic muscle exercises. So we have to see what are different effects in isotonic exercises, that will be same as in this practical we are performing aerobic exercise. Now let's see the effects. So heart rate will be changed. Now what is change in heart rate? Heart rate will rise. It can rise up to 120 to 200 from 70. Okay. Cardiac output, it can rise from 5 liter to 25 liter. Systolic BP, normal is 120. So it will be rising because BP is nothing but depending upon cardiac output. As cardiac output is increasing, stroke volume is increasing, so BP will be increasing. Diastolic blood pressure. Now here is a question, why diastolic blood pressure? Now diastolic blood pressure can remain same, can little increase in heavy exercise, or the most important thing, it can decrease even. Now why it can decrease? Because we know that diastolic BP depends on the venous return. Fine. Now venous return, if we know constriction is there, there is increase in venous return, increase in diastolic. But here what happens is, because of these metabolites, there are different vasodilator metabolites are secreted, which are CO2, potassium, hydrogen, adenosine. So they cause vasodilation. So blood supply increase to the contracting muscles. That's why venous return decreases, and hence diastolic BP decreases. Okay, and second thing is within the muscles there is sympathetic vasodilator nerve supply. Because of that there is vasodilation, so more blood supply to exercising muscle, which lead to less venous return, so diastolic BP may fall. Okay, so the other changes BP, cardiac output and heart rate increase is because of increased activity of noradrenergic sympathetic nerves. Fine. So during exercise, even before exercise, there is sympathetic overactivation occur. Because of that the BP, cardiac output and heart rate increases. Okay, this afferent signal can go from, first of all we start performing exercises, so that is psychic stimuli. Even we think of exercise, our heart rate increases because of sympathetic supply. Second afferent is when muscle start exercising, so muscle, tendon and joints, afferent signal from these go to our medulla and increase sympathetic efferents. Okay, same happens with respiratory tract also. Respiratory changes, increase in ventilation, increase in CO2 washout. Okay, increase pulmonary blood flow increases. Okay, so that is also happening. And other changes are metabolism increase, so glycogenolysis increase, more ATP synthesis occur in our body so that it can be supplied to muscle. Body temperature rises because of that. Okay, so overall, if we summarize these changes, increased noradrenergic sympathetic activity leads to increase in heart rate, respiratory rate, BP and cardiac output, and local metabolites and increased sympathetic vasodilator activity leads to increase in muscle blood flow. So these are the most important changes which we should know in this practical. Only thing left is isometric exercise. What is different in isometric? When length is not changing, there are no metabolites. Obviously, when we talk about exercise, the same psychic stimuli will lead to thinking of exercise and sympathetic excitation, which lead to heart rate rise. So heart rate rise, which lead to sympathetic excitation, and diastolic, systolic and diastolic BP both rises within few seconds, because here we don't have increase in blood supply to muscle. Instead, when muscle tension increases, the veins, the arteries present in muscle itself is constricted. Because of that there is increase in venous return and diastolic rise occur. Diastolic BP rises because more venous return is there. Okay, so that's all about effect of isometric exercise. So till now we have talked about this practical, how to perform and what are different effects. For example, if talking about examination point of view, so you should know all the effects of exercise, especially sympathetic excitation. Okay, and the basis of that, and what is different between isotonic and isometric exercise. So thank you so much for watching. You can comment below if you have any query. Thank you.